America just went blind. Not figuratively, not as a metaphor. Literally, physically, operationally blind. CNN's satellite imagery from March confirms it. The TPY-2 radar in Jordan, the strategic eyes of our entire regional defense, has been destroyed. A missile defense system has two parts: the interceptors, which are the fists, and the radar, which are the eyes. Iran didn't attack the fists. They ripped out the eyes. This is a $1 billion asset, one of only 10 in the world. Replacement time is 5 to 6 years. The immediate result: regional warning time for an attack has collapsed from 15 minutes to less than 2. And this event is the key to unlocking the hidden economic attrition war that is silently fracturing the petrodollar system. This is the framework. Because the blinding wasn't the attack, it was the necessary first step. It was the preparation for the real war. A war fought not with missiles, but with capital. And that war of capital is being waged through a mechanism of engineered bankruptcy. The core of this strategy is a disastrously asymmetric cost exchange. The United States is being forced to use multi-million-dollar interceptors to destroy Iranian proxy drones that cost as little as $20,000. The primary interceptor, the Patriot PAC-3, costs approximately $4 million per round, according to the Center for Strategic and International Studies. The target, a Shahed drone, costs between $20,000 and $50,000. That's a cost exchange ratio of over 100 to 1. Read that again. But this isn't just about cost. It's a crisis of inventory and time. It creates a catastrophic bleed rate of our most advanced munitions. This is where the battlefield problem reveals a terminal condition in the American defense industrial base. The production mismatch is the fatal flaw. CSS analysis shows US baseline production for a high-end system like the THAAD interceptor is around 96 units per year. Iran and its network can produce hundreds of drones and missiles monthly. The math simply does not add up. This isn't theoretical. Reports from publications like Breaking Defense and Bloomberg confirm the US is already being forced to shift from its advanced guided munitions to cheaper, less effective gravity bombs, because stockpiles are depleting faster than they can be replaced. When the people running the war start leaking to journalists that they're losing, that's not spin. That's a distress signal. Decades of industrial consolidation and a just-in-time production philosophy have created a defense base that is structurally incapable of scaling for a sustained attrition war. It is a state of strategic insolvency. We are being bled of the very assets required for deterrence, forcing dangerous trade-offs that weaken our posture in other critical theaters like the Indo-Pacific. But even this catastrophic bleed rate is a misdirection. It is the symptom, not the disease. It's designed to fixate American strategic attention on the battlefield, on the physical depletion of interceptors. Because while the Pentagon is counting missiles, a handful of very serious financial players are watching the only thing that actually matters. And that one thing is the structural fracture of the petrodollar system. Investor Robert Kiyosaki framed this with clinical precision. He stated, "Most people are watching missiles. I'm watching the petrodollar." His analysis is critical. When systems of this magnitude change, they don't announce it. The transition is silent. The visible war, the attrition of interceptors, is a strategic misdirection. The real war is being waged against the very architecture of American financial hegemony. The fundamental bargain was always clear. Gulf states host American bases in exchange for an absolute security guarantee. That guarantee has now publicly failed. America's allies are the targets, and their economies are being systematically paralyzed as a result. This is not a theoretical risk. The data is quantifiable. Citing flight analytics from Cerium, over 23,000 flights have been cancelled across Gulf hubs. Operations at Dubai International, a global economic nerve centre, have plummeted to just 25% of normal levels. This is a siege conducted by spreadsheet. This catastrophic failure of trust is triggering a tectonic shift in capital. The Financial Times confirms that Gulf states like Saudi Arabia and the UAE have launched internal reviews of their overseas investments, including their vast US holdings. These are the sovereign wealth funds that have acted as the buyers of last resort for US debt for decades. Their withdrawal from the market is not a possibility. It is a process already in motion. Here is what this actually means. This is the core of the strategy. A self-reinforcing fiscal capital cascade. It is a feedback loop designed to break the system. First, the US is forced to print trillions to fund the war and backfill munitions. We are seeing this happen in real time, with Congress debating a $30 billion emergency funding bill. Second, this action floods the market with new Treasury debt. Now, third, and this is the critical juncture, it happens at the exact moment its biggest historical buyers are stepping away. The result is a vicious cycle. Rising debt necessitates higher yields to attract new, less reliable buyers. Higher yields crush the domestic economy. This cycle is the true endgame. So for those of you who see what's happening, you track 3 leading indicators. This is your dashboard. First, Gulf Sovereign Wealth Fund announcements. Watch for official divestment statements and reallocations away from US assets. Second, yields on new US Treasury auctions. Spikes are a fever chart of dwindling demand for American debt. Third, the size of supplemental military funding bills. Each bill is a public admission of a deeper structural insolvency. Read that again. It is an admission of insolvency. Now that you have the framework, I'm curious. Which of these leading indicators are you watching most closely? Gulf divestment, Treasury yields, or the defense production gap? Let me know in the comments below. But understanding this financial cascade is not the end of the analysis. It is the prerequisite. The attrition war and the attack on the dollar were designed to achieve one thing: to force America to drain its strategic reserves, to empty the silos. Because while this financial war rages in the open, the most dangerous kinetic assets have been deliberately held in reserve, waiting for the moment the defender is at its absolute weakest. This is a chess master sacrificing pawns to set up checkmate. The entire campaign, seen to date, has been a deliberately low-intensity operation. The drone swarms, the missile strikes, they were not designed for maximum destruction. They were designed for a singular purpose: to force the United States to exhaust its finite, irreplaceable stockpiles of advanced interceptors. While America was focused on stopping the pawns, Iran's most sophisticated and truly devastating weapons, their unseen sword, have been held in reserve. Capabilities like their advanced cluster missile technology. Imagine a radar screen, one inbound signature. Then, in the final 2 minutes of its flight path, it fragments. That one target becomes hundreds of independent warheads, each on a terminal trajectory. Against a system with a 2-minute warning, this attack is functionally indefensible. Here's what this actually means. The destruction of the THAAD radar wasn't the main event. It was the signal. It was the signal that the conditions were now set for a final decisive attack against a defense system that is both blind and running out of ammunition.
This clinical assessment leads to the only logical question. If the board is positioned for checkmate and the US position is this compromised, why not simply pull back? Why not de-escalate?
The answer doesn't reside in military strategy. It resides in a political calculation that is far more difficult to understand. That political calculation is simpler and more alarming than you might think. It is the conscious decision to risk systemic collapse to avoid domestic political embarrassment. What makes this trajectory so infuriating is that a clear, publicly stated diplomatic off-ramp exists. It is not complex. Iran's condition to stop this entire attrition campaign is the complete withdrawal of US military bases from the region. A pragmatic strategist would see this as a logical move to cut losses and preserve the core system from total fracture. But this exit is being deliberately blocked. The decision to remain is not based on a lack of strategic alternatives, but on a political one. This places the choice in the starkest possible terms. Let's put it on the ledger. On one side, the political embarrassment of a perceived retreat. On the other, a multi-trillion-dollar market crash, a global oil crisis, and uncontrollable escalation. The current path is a conscious decision to risk the latter to avoid the former. This concludes the analytical phase of our briefing. We have examined the military, financial and political vectors of this attrition. Now, we move to synthesis. We will assemble these components into the framework for understanding and navigating what comes next. Let us assemble the framework. What you have witnessed is not a series of random events. It is a clinical, three-stage process of systematic dismantling. First, America was blinded. Its strategic eyes, its regional sensor architecture were surgically removed. This act eliminated decision-making time, making all subsequent defense mathematically untenable, and second, it was forced into a bleeding war. A conflict of pure economic attrition, pitting cheap, mass-produced munitions against a fragile, overextended industrial base. An unsustainable cost-exchange ratio designed to methodically drain reserves. Finally, this pressure activates the fracture. The perception of lost security guarantees triggers a capital cascade. Sovereign wealth funds begin to exit. Bond yields spike, and the very foundation of the petrodollar system cracks under the strain. All blinded, bleeding, fractured. This is the operating reality. The world is transitioning, just as figures like Kiyosaki have warned. Great systems do not announce their collapse with a press release. They simply shift under pressure. With this framework, you are no longer a passive spectator. You now possess the lens to see the shift as it happens. If this framework for seeing beyond the headlines is valuable to you, subscribe for more analysis that decodes the architecture of this new world order. Your task now is to track the leading indicators. The briefing is concluded.